Good evening, everyone, and we're back after a hiatus. It's off the ropes. It's episode 43. It's your boy, Mr. Nettis and Bret Swinney. We got the Big Oos up here, K.O. Kyle Owens. We got Little Oos next to me, Camden. He's a special guest for a little bit tonight. And we got Dirt Sheet Brandon. Welcome, fellas.
What's up? What's up, Oos?
The Ooses are here. You know, I feel like there's something missing. There's been something missing to our show. Uh-oh. It's that time of year. He's like Roman Reigns. He only comes back around the Royal Rumble. It's the Professor, Matt Diggs.
Oh, he's back. I like
Brandon,
this little tag at the bottom.
Brandon was a little surprised, I think, he was coming in. Me and Kyle knew exactly. He thinks he's camo entrances off and on during football season. But welcome back, Professor.
I'm glad to be
back. Tag at the bottom.
As your reigning KMU and DFW Pick'em champion and resident.
It doesn't say the NetSN Pick'em champion, so that's okay, Diggs. It's still.
You rigged that. You have your own little special calculations and things like that. You are the Paul Heyman of your own world, and I'm happy to be here. And I'm mostly caught up, so this is exciting times.
All right. It's about time. We were all in Dallas, Professor, your area, for Dallas Yeet Stars Raw a few weeks ago. Did you happen to make it out to that event right down the road?
I did not, but I found if you actually watch the the world stream of the Netflix, you actually get like the live in feed thing. So it's like you're in the stadium. So I got to watch all the stuff y'all did, all the special little vignettes and things like that. I saw they're selling the stars thing. So it was fun. It felt like I was there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Brandon got to fill in and got to be my special guest and ride along. My wife was sick. She was supposed to go, but got to bring Camden and Beckham. The kids got to come, and they had a good time. Of course, we got some glasses and didn't have the pink Eat shirt there, but we ordered it. So she's all taken care of and had a good time. But I think the kids, they were pretty into it. Brandon, what'd you think, before we get started in the Rumble, what'd you think overall your Netflix Raw debut live there?
That was awesome. Because I'd never been to I've been to pay-per-views, I've been to house shows, but I've never been to like a Raw or SmackDown taping live show like that before. So that was that was fun to kind of see because then what I did, I don't know if you did this, Bret, but I probably not, because you had all your people there. Well, when I got home, my people wanted to watch it, so I got to go back and watch it on TV and kind of see, hey, because there's certain things that's happening there. You're like, I wonder if they showed this on TV, like the Punk interview on the in the concourse. He did one, and I was like, they'll probably show that one. They did, but Ludwig and some others did one they didn't show, and then there's just different things that we got to see the back and forth with Sammy and Seth after. Well, they don't show that, because the TV cuts off while they're still in the ring. Well, we get to see that live where they kind of have a little, back and forth on the ramp. So different things like it, it's different. It's interesting to see when they go to commercial, when they come back and stuff like that. But being there live was awesome. We were sitting right by each other, but thought the same thing is, they start off with, once the Raw starts, Jey Uso comes out and the place is just electric. I mean, it's probably like a 25-minute entrance, but it was worth it. And so yeah, it was fun. A really good show. We saw Penta's second week, and that was fun. And then a good main event between Drew and Seth, and then with the Sammy stuff that happened after. So it was fun being there, and it was my second wrestling show in 2 days, because I went to Teenage Genesis the day before. So I had a great 36 hours of wrestling.
Well, and two, Brandon, we got that extra dark match with Cody Rhodes, so that was something bonus.
And we got the two main event matches.
Yeah, they were
But
something.
no, Cody Rhodes, and I saw like Cody Rhodes and Carmelo. They had a little incident. I don't know if they had a match, but they had a little incident after Raw went off the air this week too. So,
Kyle, what about you? You were next section over. We could see you from our seats. You weren't that far from us. So you had about the same view we did. What'd you think?
Yeah, well, first off, let me just say there is no reason that there needs to be a bright old light shining right at the third level in the arena. That light got on my ever-loving nerves. That bright light that just kept shining on that ring. It was so bright and so unnecessary. But other than that, it was a very fun time. Had a great time. My mom and my girlfriend went. My dad was sick. He was unable to go, so we still got to get him to a show. But my mom and girlfriend loved it. Like, it was their first show to go to, and I had a great time there. The seats weren't bad other than the light, but you could see everything, and the arena was rocking. It was electric. I've noticed on Netflix, because I listen to the podcast after Raw, and then when I watch Raw, I'm missing a lot. And I didn't know that, like, they were going to treat it like it was on Peacock or something, like a tiered subscription level where you weren't going to get the full show if you didn't have premium subscription. So, like, my Netflix is just the normal Netflix. It's not the premium or any of that. So I miss, like, last night specifically, Braun Breaker and Penta having a moment backstage. I never saw that. Yeah, see, exactly. There's certain stuff that I didn't know was like tiered subscription levels. So I don't like that. Like, I feel like on a pay-per-view, I get it. But if you're putting that on a weekly show, then you're the one that put it on Netflix. Don't force me to pay extra just to see the backstage vignettes. Like, give me the full show. But other than that, I've enjoyed the move over to Netflix. I think the flow of it's cool. Like, this past Monday night, I thought the show was over after the final match, but then it's almost like they had that extra segment with Punk and Cody that it felt like you didn't see it. It felt like something you would only see in the arena, but they showed it on air. So I like how Netflix doesn't have a set time where they have a certain time they have to get off air. It feels
You never
like
know what you're going to get.
better. Yeah, and you don't know when the end is happening. You don't know, like, oh, this is the end of the show. So I'm enjoying Raw on Netflix. I think it's fun, and I'm enjoying it right now.
Well,
all right, Professor, I'm interested to know what Professor has to say. So you said you've got the world version that you're watching. What difference does it make? Like, I've attempted. I'm not going to say how I attempted to. I attempted to try to do the world version. Mine was a little pixelated. I didn't get as good a service. I think just because of the lovely Chapel Hill internet already is great, and then if you try to pipe it down anymore, pointing yourself to another country doesn't always work too well. So how much more are you seeing versus, like, is it go off at all? Is it just straight through the entire time, Professor?
It's very much straight through the entire time. It kind of starts about 10 to 15 minutes early. So you kind of see Michael Cole come out, and you see Pat McAfee come out, and you get that you kind of see them changing over from the main event, that show over to the Raw show. And then it's very much produced. I mean, they go to break, but they don't go to break. It's almost like AEW has the same kind of a thing. If you see the Triller or the Fight TV version of it, like when they're going to commercial break, they just stay in the match, and they stay commentating as well. So there are some commercials in it, but it's pretty much 3 hours straight through. All those vignettes y'all were talking about, you see those as well on the world. So it's just straight through. And but when it ends, it ends. So, like, the stuff that y'all got to see afterward, I didn't get to see any of that, even though I was watching the world stuff. Like, I guess you said that Sammy and Seth had interaction. I didn't get to see any of that.
Okay, so it's almost like you're there.
Yes,
just not quite the whole thing. Okay, interesting. So where do you watch from? Do you travel over to the United Kingdom to watch?
This is not the point of the podcast. Is like, are we going to discuss how you get all your pay-per-views for free all of a sudden? Don't think you want any of that, but
they're not free.
If you go to Pirate Bay, you can get them. You can get them where you get them.
Yeah, they're not free, right, Kyle? They're not free.
It is discounted, but it is not free.
Kyle still is like saving money every time he watches. I feel like every time AEW comes on, he's like, man, I feel like
I don't use that Roku stick for anything other than AEW pay-per-views, and I still get my money's worth.
It's crazy. I use it for I use it a lot for like college basketball, NBA, and then UFC, box stuff like that. So
I have used it for UFC. And I did use it during football season. One time when the Eagles game wasn't on here, I was able to watch the Eagles. So I have used it. I watched the minor league game on there. So
you could probably use it once a month and still get your money's worth.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, guys, I kind of gave y'all there's been a ton of stuff that's happened since the last time that we've had a show. I look back and it was before Christmas. I think we had a show scheduled around that time and didn't have one, and thought about having one last week, but then the sickness bug hit me. Y'all probably wonder why I fell off the face of the earth, but about Thursday at lunch till Friday all day, I was just out of it. And so didn't get a chance to talk about the main event Saturday. Is there anything besides that Saturday's main event that so much has happened. We've had the first Raw on Netflix. We've talked a little bit about our experience at the Raw on Netflix. Anything stick out to you guys? I know y'all probably have a few things that stick out to you that we've had lots of time between the last few shows.
Well, for me, since we since we talked last, Tiffany became the champion. We kept hey, when's it gonna happen? She finally cashed in. That last SmackDown, right, that first 3-hour SmackDown I did, and then the Saturday night main events, I like them. They're people, you'll see the internet wrestling community get a little bent out of shape, like, oh, this didn't happen. It's not a premium live event. It's a fun show. Good matches. You're not getting really any story there. It's just a fun 2 hours on NBC. And so, I don't expect a whole lot out of them, but I enjoyed Gunther and Jey Uso the other night. I enjoy the couple hours we get of it.
There for just a second, I was like, man, are they going to pull the trigger on him? I didn't think so, but it was like, man, and
that's the thing is, these early ones, we might not get anything like that, but eventually, when you're not expecting it, there might be one time where they pull a trigger on something big, and you just don't know. So you got to watch it, and you never know what's going to happen. But I didn't expect any big title changes right there before Royal Rumble. But
I like this too, Brandon. I like this too, Brandon, because it kind of, instead of just throwing a random premium live event out there that means nothing at whatever and put it on Peacock, then at least this is like free on air TV, and it's something like on a Saturday night it's something they're throwing back to the old days. I like it better than just saying, hey, let's make up some random name pay-per-view to plug this hole the week before Rumble, right? At least it's, I think if they do 3 or 4 of these a year, I think it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, and then they throw Jesse Ventura on there for a match each time. It's fun to have him, in there as a little bonus. And
they didn't have Hogan though.
No, I don't know. I don't know. We may get him in the Saturday. So Punk, like he said, can throw his dusty ass. Sorry.
That would be hilarious. That would be great.
But I think that but like you said, we've had Raw on Netflix. The first Raw on Netflix, we had all the big stuff, and you knew they were going to go out big with The Rock, and so then everybody's like, well, like y'all used it all on the first one. Well, no, now we're just getting normal Raws, but they're still really good. And like Kyle said, the fact that we don't know when they're going to end, like they said they're going to be 3 hours, but they've lately been going about 225 to 240. And so I like that. And because it seems to, even though it's more than 2, it's going quick. SmackDown's been good. NXT's picking up steam. I know we're talking about WWE right now, and if we get time in a little bit, we can kind of touch on what's going on in AEW. Well, I'd like to hear Diggs' thoughts because, I want to know. I would, if we ever get to an AEW section, I'd like to hear Diggs' thoughts on what's going on there right now because I'm very interested to see how he feels about everything going over there right now.
I know what the Big Oos thinks. It's the big deuce, the big deuce.
Oh, and also, I like, NXT and TNA, well, WWE and TNA, NXT, TNA, they've signed that recent partnership. So that could add some fun this week and then Vengeance Day coming up, like we're going to see a lot more crossover. And I mean, we'll talk about the Rumble here in a little bit and kind of what we expect could happen there. So,
yeah, that's some good stuff. The cash in from Tiffany Stratton, I think it was about the right timing. We talked about how we were ready for it, but they always kind of do it really quickly with the women, and I think they waited long enough to where it was almost we weren't expecting it yet. It was kind of like not out of nowhere, but it was a little bit out of kind of gotten to where we were like, okay, here we go again.
My only issue is, are they going to go back to Nia and Tiffy? Because like they immediately moved Nia to Rhea, and like they haven't even like, they were friends, and then Tiffany betrayed her and cashed in on her, and they haven't even like went back to that at all. Like, that's the only thing that bothers me is, are they going to go back to that?
They'll have to save it. It'll have to come. They'll come back with that. I'm sure they're gonna maybe.
We'll see, because I mean, we'll talk about later, but I have Tiffany doing something else for Mania. So I think she's going to be doing something else for Mania. So I don't know. I mean, you never know. You would think with this regime they would, but I've seen instances in the past where they've kind of just went away from stuff and they've never revisited. So we'll see.
I could see them having an interaction in the Rumble, and then what pay-per-view's next, they could do that match
Elimination Chamber.
Mania.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They could do something there. Because I think they both are going to be in the Rumble, right?
Well, no, Tiffany won't be.
She acted like she was putting herself in the Rumble. Remember they had that segment, and like all those women came out.
I hope she's not, because I hate it. I know Brock did that one time, and someone else did, and I hate when the champions are in the Rumble. Like,
didn't she say she was going to try to come after the other title or something? Like,
she may have. I missed that, but I hope not. I hate when they do that.
Yeah. I don't know, but she could come out and be a distraction and be a reason why Nia gets eliminated. I could see that. It would make more sense to me than putting her in. It was a weird segment because they all came out. It was like, I'm in the Rumble. I'm in the Rumble. I'm in the Rumble. Like, it was that women's segment from the other night. It was, they all decided they were going to be in the Rumble. We got the Charlotte Flair vignette. You saw that. So,
man, she looks different.
I was looking at this. I was about to say, I was looking at a picture and they showed her first appearance in WWE, and she looked beautiful. Like, and that's what she's done to her face. I just don't like it.
I like Carmella.
Yeah, it's too much. Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm not a fan, but I am glad to see her back. I think she'll give an immediate shot to the women's division. I think they've got some stuff in NXT, with Roxanne Perez. Looks like, I don't know if she's officially moved up to the main roster or what she's doing right now, but they've got some good women in NXT. But I think maybe Charlotte can put some women over. I don't know if she'll do that, but obviously anybody that beats Charlotte's going to get a nice little bump. So we'll see how that goes. But it's good to see her back. She's good in the ring. So, and everyone cares about her. Like, either they hate her or they love her, but they care about her. So it'll be good to have her back.
I like what WWE is doing right now. I like the direction. I will say SmackDown being 3 hours is kind of a pain to watch. I don't think that it needs to be 3 hours. There's no wrestling show that needs to be 3 hours other than a PLE.
Hey, Kyle, we might need to tune SmackDown on Friday night while we're watching one of those basketball games.
Is it supposed to be one of them blowouts?
Well, it won't be on yet for the girls. The girls, yeah, I think it's going to be another one of those.
All right. Well, we'll have.
We might be able to get through some of it.
we'll be able to talk about a lot of SmackDown, but
we'll need some good material.
Yeah,
I don't know if you heard me and Jereme the other night, but it was that first game was rough. It was.
Yeah, I saw the score. I can imagine how it was, but I think that SmackDown is kind of a hard watch right now just because of how long it is. But I mean, overall, I'm enjoying everything I'm seeing. I think I really like Penta. I think Penta coming in adds a lot. I wish Rey Fenix was with him. I wish Tony wasn't such a petty never mind and was keeping Rey Fenix away from his brother for whatever reason. But I know eventually we'll get the Lucha Brothers in WWE, and seeing how they're treating Penta right now, and I mean, we all saw it when he came into the arena in Dallas. Like, that place lit up for somebody that really is unknown in WWE. Like, he is unknown in WWE, but he's made his name everywhere else, and he's finally in WWE, and you can tell he's happy to be there. And it's exciting to see him and what's going on there. Also, I want to say, since this is fresh on my mind, I have an immense amount of respect for JD McDonough.
I was about to bring
I
that
thought
up.
he broke his neck Monday night.
That was bad.
Nasty.
Mm.
It was it's bad. Like, the ref didn't throw up the X or anything, but everyone's attention immediately went to JD. Like, Dom, after he pinned him, he immediately looked over. Like, everyone was immediately focused on JD to get up and finish the match.
He took more.
And
He
take
took more,
take even more bumps.
The
Like,
announcers did a good job of putting him over, though. Like, they kept saying, like, that JD McDonough is going through so much. Like, he is.
I can't stand his character. Like, his character, I'm over it. But him as a, like, human, like, immense amount of respect for JD. Like, that took a ton of credit. And if we don't see him for 2 months, that's great, because he needs all the rest.
Would you see what he said was wrong?
Mm-hmm. He broke ribs and punctured his lung. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just happy that it wasn't worse than that. But anyway, I'm enjoying what's going on with WWE right now. I think the Rumble is going to be, obviously wasn't born the first in the 1992 Royal Rumble that's been hailed as the greatest Royal Rumble ever. So I can't really speak on that one, but just on name value alone, the names that are in this Royal Rumble on Saturday are ridiculous. And I think there's so many stories that are intertwined in the Rumble that this is one of the I'm looking forward to this Royal Rumble more than I think any other Royal Rumble I've seen. So excited for Saturday and excited with what WWE's got going on right now.
Well, because you got the names of people that have said they're going to be in it. And you've already got so many people that can win already. And that's not even counting the ones that'll shock us and we don't know about. It's something that I saw today. You guys may or may not have seen this yet. It's but I'll let Diggs go on the Rumble. WWE Hall of Fame nominee Triple H is going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame this year. About time. I mean, he's.
Well, I thought he was already in, but he's only in his factions.
Not by himself. No.
I know. I didn't realize that till today.
And so I think this is a well-deserved thing for him. We can go back and play our old shows several years ago, and we were just complete opposites. We were trashing WWE. What is Vince doing? I feel like that. I'm hoping that WWE's path is what the Cowboys are going to do. Eventually, when Jerry goes away, then we'll get somebody else in here and do. But I don't think it's the same because Steven's not the guy either. But guys, Kyle leaves. But credit to Triple H. I think he's done an incredible job with the entire company. It's on the right path. Shout out to him. Go ahead, Dig.
Well, if you want me to talk about everything since I've been on here last, we might need to give me an hour of my own little special little recap on there. But really, I mean, you kind of even just said it, Bret. I mean, from when I was even on here last, which was about SummerSlam, because football season is just a big blur. It is like everything they've said. WWE has gotten hot. WWE is the thing right now. And just looking at the crowds and looking at the crowds at AEW, it's crazy how the two different companies have kind of changed fortune. Even though I don't think there's been substantially a change in the quality of the wrestling. I still think AEW's got better wrestling, but WWE's got better story and production right now. And I think that really is turning over and doing well. I'm sure Brandon knows about this just because he's a connoisseur of all sports. But man, the Intuit Dome in LA, that place was incredible. I mean, the stadium itself for the first Netflix with all the lit up seats and everything, the big screen up there was just absolutely incredible. I love how Netflix is doing the drones now, kind of just we really are immersed in the stadium. So they're doing a lot of fun new things right now. And it's fun to to watch. I still fast forward through a lot of the matches because, I don't know how many times we need to watch, the War Raiders versus Judgment Day. We get it. They're still doing that. I completely agree with the big oos that we don't need 3 hours for SmackDown by any means. And I think we're seeing a lot more crossover because of Netflix, where we can see any person on any show, even though we had the transfer portal. So I really don't know what the differentiation between the shows are at this point.
The transfer portal, it was cool at first, but now it's like they don't let them choose where they want to transfer. It's like you transfer over here. Like I thought the purpose of the transfer portal was to let people go where they wanted to. Not so much in WWE. I think that's very interesting.
It seems like there's been so many, but that's all their day. The official list is only like 4 people have actually transferred. I was like, it seems like 20, but Cole said it officially ends at the Rumble. So,
well, poor the Miz got transferred. They forgot to let him know. Oh, that was awesome.
But yeah, it's been fun to watch. It's fun to watch the stories, and I know Kyle. He's been very big on for the duration of our podcasting about not liking 8-hour pay-per-views and things like that. But right now we only have 4 matches announced for the Royal Rumble, and they just announced the 4th one this past week with the tag team match. So I think they've really valued quality over quantity, and I think we're going to see that at this PLE.
Until next year when they go 2 days.
Even then, though, they'll still have the same amount of, each day.
Yeah.
It'll be double, but it won't be 8 in a row hours. It'll just be.
Yeah. One of the matches this time is 2 out of 3, though, and then we know the Rumble match is going to be over an hour. So.
Yeah, it'll still probably be a 3.5 hour pay-per-view, but that's fine. Like 4 matches in 3.5 hours with 2 of them being Rumble matches, and then the 2 out of 3 Falls match is probably going to go 30 plus minutes, and then the Cody and KO segment, who knows? That match, who knows?
Somebody might die in that match.
So that's probably another 30 minutes. So yeah, you're probably looking at 3.5 hours on a Saturday night, which it's an early start time of 5 o'clock. So we get us out of there by 8:30, 9 o'clock on a Saturday. I am not complaining. Tony Khan needs to take notes. Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Quality.
Well, one thing, and I haven't watched this week's Dynamite. You said to mention Tony Khan. I think a cool thing right now. There's not a whole lot that I've enjoyed, but Omega and Ospreay teaming up. I'm for that. Like they've seemed like they've always been on each other's opposite sides, and I think this is going to be a cool way for them to team up against Callis. I said I hadn't watched this week. I don't know if y'all have it on or if you've watched yet, but
it just started, so no, I haven't. But I haven't.
Yeah, so I am intrigued in that. I think the whole Moxley thing. I've gotten where I just don't even care about that one, and they're gonna have to inject some adrenaline back in that. 3 or 4 months ago, we're like, oh, it's gonna be Shane, it's gonna be something, and it seems like it's the same old every time. Like we don't have anything invested in there. I don't know. The Bucks have been gone a while. We hadn't seen them. When will they come back? Jack Perry, the whole elite thing they gone on. We kind of thought they may come back, and nothing's happened. So, I can watch some good matches. I'll tune in and watch Ospreay, and I'll tune in and watch a few others on there. But the stories right now, I don't necessarily care about too much. So, I think that's just the difference for me. If AEW doesn't sign some of these guys that they've got, like I care about Omega, I want to see him in the ring. I care about Ospreay. If they don't keep some of these guys, I may not really want to tune in to watch them. And just the stories aren't hitting right now for me.
Well, I want to hear Diggs go on AEW, and then I'll give my spill.
I mean, the stories are lacking right now. It is what it is as far as that goes, but the matches are still amazing. I mean, I can sit and watch Ospreay and Omega and some of these matches, and even Edge can still put on a good match, or Cope, or whatever he wants to go by these days.
Yes.
Cope, stupidest thing. Why? They already rebranded him as Adam Copeland. Why?
Got to keep it to 4 letters. That's what we got to do here. What I think what Triple H is doing is crazy, because if you think about the three major free agent acquisitions, you got Cody, who's the face of the company. You had Ethan Page, who was basically a nobody over in AEW, and they put him as the face of NXT for several pay-per-views. And now you got Penta, who is basically an afterthought over in AEW, who is now being pushed to the moon. I mean, I'm sure MJF has got to be thinking right now, man, should I really have signed that contract and done that, because WWE is absolutely hot right now, and AEW is just really struggling in getting 2,000, 3,000 seat arenas. But it is still fun to watch. The AEW, the stories are bad, and you watch their pay-per-views, and it's like big match after big match after big match, and it's just go on and on for 4.5 hours. Whereas we're all looking more forward to the Royal Rumble that's going to have all these stories intertwined, the two major matches. They really need to hire some more creative people over at AEW, because that's where the game has gone. The quality of wrestling is not better at WWE by any means right now. The storylines, though, are night and day better.
Yeah. And the thing with AEW too is we had World's End, but now we don't. The next pay-per-view's not for a while. They were going to kind of pay-per-view style their Grand Slam in Australia, but then they blundered that, and it's not even going to be live now. They're going to show it like 30 hours later.
21-hour tape delay.
Yeah, what? Yeah. So and it's on Max, so that doesn't make why not, it's on Max. Why just show it live? And
when did this happen? Because I must have missed this.
They haven't really announced that on TV.
That's the thing, Bret. That's the thing.
It's just
they would announce it.
But
so
the problem is it's the same weekend as NBA All-Star weekend, so they can't do their normal Saturday night time slot because they got the dunk contest and all that. So they're just going to put it. They're going to put the Dynamite Grand Slam on after the dunk contest and stuff. But they're actually taping it like Friday afternoon or Friday morning in Australia. So it's on Max too, so they could just show it live, but they're actually going to hold it, even though we're going to know what happened. But so my big issue, Jeff Jarrett, what are we doing there? Why? he's got a number one contenders match tonight. The whole thing with him and MJF was crazy, and now he's kind of done with MJF, even though they never wrestled. And now he's facing Claudio tonight, and if he wins, he gets to face Moxley for the title. And so yeah, that whole thing. And I did enjoy. I know Diggs May, and I don't know if he's seen this week's, but I know y'all don't watch Collision. But the Mariah May Tony Storm segment on Collision their night was magnificent. I do have to say that it was great. Tony Storm's back. Timeless Tony Storm's back. She's great in any role she plays, and she did it again. And so I'm looking forward to that. But like Mercedes Moné, they're not she's her champion or whatever, but she's just still just nothing sticking there. The Death Riders thing is, like we said, we thought it was going to be something, and then they just hadn't done anything with it. And I mean, because now they're about to face Jeff Jarrett, so we just talked about that. And
Jeff Jarrett's good at leading his own company, man. Maybe he's going to bring in, was it GC? Was it not GCW, but was it GFW? Was that his wrestling promotion?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's going to have his own promotion.
And then MJF stale, and then Swerve, and could have had Swerve and Lashley, but now Lashley refuses to work with Swerve, so you can't have them. And so you have Swerve facing AR Fox, and then Lashley and them are the tag champs now, which I'm fine with, because they don't need to lose if they're gonna, you're gonna put them in a match against the Private Party. With what they've done with Lashley and Shelton, they shouldn't be losing to them, and they didn't. So, but who's gonna beat them? And then all the stuff with Tony Khan and the Ray Phoenix stuff. Well, he's holding him hostage. Malachi's leaving. Ricky Starks is not happy. He's throwing Britt Baker under the bus. He's stepping on a lot of toes, and eventually, he could throw a lot of money around, but people have shown you don't treat people right. It's eventually going to come back to bite you. So we'll see what happens to all of them. Ray Phoenix will eventually be in WWE. I think Malachi's coming very quickly because WWE's already been dropping hints about him coming. you know, they did at the show we went to. They Dom and Gable were talking about them, you know, kind of in they didn't directly say it, but they gave us enough hints that they were talking about Malachi and Zelina. So that was kind of cool. And then we'll see what like, you know, they've been bashing Britt Baker. And I've heard that they said she's difficult to work with. So she may not end up anywhere because some of the stuff they're saying she did ain't gonna fly in WWE either.
Well, the women's division right now is trash.
It's bad.
I mean,
it's Tony and Mariah, and that's it.
That's it. There's nothing. It's Kyle's favorite Monet, and with the title, which she's never lost because the first match she won, she got
four titles. 4 titles.
And 4. Tonight she's main event against Takeshita's girl.
I don't get how y'all saying this is so bad. I mean, yes, you have. I think Toni Storm is one of the best wrestlers right now in the world. I agree with that. You got Willow. You got Statlander.
I haven't even seen Willow. We haven't seen Willow in months.
She was like 2 weeks ago. I mean, she was wrestling.
I missed that. I've watched every show. We don't have Rampage no more, thankfully. But
I mean, there's only one women's division. It's the best in wrestling right now, and it's NXT. Like NXT's got the best women's division right now. They've got so much talent. That's why I'm wondering how many are going to move up. We talked about Roxanne Perez, but you've got
you haven't watched last night, have you?
I have not. I'm up to last night. I'm caught up to that.
Okay. Well, they made a match. It's not really a spoiler. They made the match for Vengeance Day, and it's going to be Roxanne versus Bailey versus Julia.
Oh. Well, Bailey's going to take the pin probably then to extend that. But there's so much talent there. Like they've got good character. They've made some good characters in NXT. I like the top of the card in AEW. I just don't care about anybody else, any other women's matches. I mean, they can work in the ring, but after so many times, I can only see Willow Nightingale jump around and bounce.
Julia Hart, I like Julia Hart and Harley Cameron's entertaining, but they ruined Jamie Hayter. They absolutely ruined Jamie Hayter.
She's like a Becky Lynch knockoff.
I mean, not even. She's like.
Well, that's what they did. They made her red hair, and she's from England overseas. Like that's what she looks like. I mean, that's what they did.
Yeah, she's like a way lower knockoff than.
Well, I know. That's what when she comes out, that just reminds me of Becky Lynch. I don't know. There's a lot of good quality wrestlers, but none of them I really care about, and they've wasted the TBS title. I know Kyle. Every time we turn around, I didn't realize she had 4 titles. I know she had at least 2.
Well, you wouldn't know that because half of them don't matter because they're not in promotions that are AEW. Like that's the other thing. Well, okay, let me just say this. You know what's wrong with AEW? Tony Khan is what's wrong with AEW. It's the same issue we've talked about just 3 years ago with Vince McMahon, how he was ruining WWE. Tony Khan is doing the same damn thing. And it's something that he wanted to not be. He wanted to be the difference. He didn't want it to be different from Vince. He's doing the same damn thing. He don't listen to the fans. He don't listen to a damn thing the fans say because the fans are sitting there telling you they're not watching the product. Collision, that great segment, Toni Storm and Mariah May, nobody saw it. 200,000 people watching Collision. Why are you airing something that massive, that big, your biggest storyline? You're going to put it on a show that nobody's watching on a Saturday night instead of putting it on your main show that even less people are watching that, but you have less people watching Collision than are watching Dynamite. So why are you
especially going up against Collision? Yeah.
Exactly. That's so why even that makes no sense. And he's just killing the product because he don't want to listen to anybody. And John Moxley and all of them want to say, just sit back and enjoy the ride. No, I'm not going to sit back and enjoy the ride because you're not taking us anywhere. Nothing's happening. We're just sitting in the same thing, doing the same thing over and over again. It's boring. Yes, Diggs, you're right. The wrestling in AEW, the wrestling is better than WWE. 1,000%. That's not enough. That is not enough. When you're just throwing random ass matches at a wall each week and spinning a wheel and saying, oh, let's put this wrestler against this wrestler. For what? To have a good match? Excellent. I can poop out a good match. That's great. I don't care about that. I want story. Give me something to sink my teeth into. Like it doesn't Oh man, I can't stand AEW.
Kyle, the problem is it's perspective, and you're having bad perspective because AEW really hasn't substantially changed the last 2 or 3 years. It's that WWE has gotten so good, you've gotten spoiled. That's the expectation that you want to see. You want to be entertained with these hour-long story matches like Roman Reigns and Cody that has so many different layers to it and all these different historical context to it. And you're just not going to get that because they don't have that kind of history over in AEW right now. But again, the matches are good. I'm thinking, Brandon, you're like, I don't remember the last time I saw Willow. I was so amused because whenever Tony Schiavone was out a couple of weeks ago, Ian Riccaboni was like, when he does the Willow entrance, I mark out over that. Like he was talking, he does that rap for her during that kind of stuff. And that, I mean, Willow is still having these good matches. The matches at AEW are great, but like you said, the storylines are bad. And then because the storylines are so over at WWE, I just think you're having that perspective issue.
But AEW did give us some good stories. They gave us Tony Mariah the last time, and then they get the Swerve and Hangman. They've given us stories, but now they're like, but they had a perfect chance because, you know, like the Acclaimed, they've been your longest tag team. You've been teasing this breakup, and then the way they did it was just ridiculous. Like there was no attack, no nothing. It was just like it was nothing. It was really no payoff, and I don't like. So now I don't care about it. Like
now they're just separated.
They could have used that to give Max Caster multiple like big heat and like did something with them, and now like neither of them are relevant now. It's like you just wasted both of them.
There's a start and stop in AEW, and that's what I think's the issue is because they'll start a storyline like the Death Rider thing. When it started, we were all interested because we were like, "Oh, this is great," and then it just fizzled out because it was a bunch of nobodies going after the Death Riders. It was the Dark Order and a bunch of people we don't care about. That's unbelievable to take them on.
And then every week they made them look stupid because they would come out in waves, 4 or 5 at a time instead of coming out all 20 of them at once. Like, hey, how about you all go to the ring at one time? Maybe 20 on 5 might be better odds than 4 little backstage, you know, blow off match guys going against these Death Riders. I mean, it made them look stupid. Honestly, it made us think, oh, they're just so dumb that they can't all go to the ring at one time. They got to go and all get beat up first, and then the next 4 or 5 comes out, and then they get beat up, and then they run to the back and run away. Like, come on, man, get a plan together, AEW. Let's all attack them at one time. Come on, and then when they do that, let's bring someone new and inject some life in the feud. Maybe Death Riders get a new signing and it turns a tide, and then they have the advantage for like it's been the same people. It's the same 5 guys from the very beginning. In Marina Shafir, she's honestly I love her. Like her character is the best she's ever had. Like she's the best part about the Death Riders, honestly. Marina Shafir, like she comes out and she drop kicks, 2 or 3 guys a week, it seems like. And is like this bad A chick that comes out. Like she's never been more over. Like I wish they'd do something with her, but I mean, right now that's the best part of the story going. Maybe they shouldn't because then they'd ruin it. But I'm looking for something, and you guys are right. It's just been like stale milk. Like it's been like this great glass of milk was produced, and I like looked at it and I wanted to drink it. But it's going to get better, and then all of a sudden it's stale and rotten, and I'm tired of it. I want to throw it out. I don't know. It's frustrating. We had so many ideas.
I think we're being too hard on AEW just because I think you're now just having that comparison bias with WWE and all the great stories. And it seems like almost everything right now in WWE has a story attached to it because they have top level production people. They're doing it. Y'all are sitting here raving about NXT and all their character development. I haven't watched NXT since the last pay-per-view. I couldn't tell you about any of these characters, but y'all are watching it and invested in it because, again, you're saying the character development is top tier. So it's like they're working. I think and this is kind of smart. It's like Triple H is dedicating 1 or 2 staff members to every wrestler. Let's develop your character. Let's do this. Let's do that. I think he's getting to do everything that he wanted to do now that Vince is not gone to make this a top tier company, and it's working across the board. Whereas AEW, it's just really, really good wrestlers What do you want to do? Jeff Jarrett, what do you want to do? And again, it's not cohesive, but the matches are still superior over at AEW, significantly so. And again, it is a wrestling company at the end of the day.
Well, it is when you have Will Ospreay in there, but like the last week's Dynamite and the Collision, there might have been like 2 good matches, and then like tonight's card, there's one match I care about. It's Will Ospreay and Brian Cage. The rest of them, I don't care about these matches, and it's not because of the stories. I don't even know if they're going to be good matches.
I mean, but at the same time, I couldn't even tell you what card, because they just kind of randomly spring things up there, just randomly say we're going to have this match and this match and this match. So they're not developing matches because we know like what's going to happen on. I mean, they've been working on it. It's like we know that we're going to have Swerve and Ricochet in a couple of weeks in Atlanta. So I mean,
we're not getting that no more. Ricochet, yeah, Ricochet. No, I like what they've done with Ricochet. This is the most I've ever cared. Yeah. This is the most I've ever cared about Ricochet.
So they are doing some things. But it's like they almost have too much talent at the end of the day.
Okay, tonight, here's what they had tonight. MJF, you hear from MJF. What's he going to talk about? He's been feuding with Jeff Jarrett,
Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, but Jeff Jarrett's facing Claudio tonight for the title. So for
MJF will come out and interfere.
MJF will interfere.
And he says he's going to talk, so we'll see. Okay, Wheeler Yuta is the worst wrestler in the history of wrestling, and so you got him against Jay White. Well, I want to care about Jay White, but not against Wheeler Yuta. Like, I mean, he's Death
Riders will come out, interfere.
Yeah. So, but Will Ospreay against Brian Cage. I'm looking forward to that. And then Jeff Jarrett against Claudio. What? Who cares about Jeff Jarrett in 2025?
I want to see that match because I want to see Claudio swing Jeff Jarrett around about 20 times.
He may die. and then Mercedes Moné against Takeshita's girl, Yuka Sasaki. What? That's probably the main event. Like, what?
She's probably is one of her 4 titles on the line for that?
It's the TBS championship. The other ones she'll never defend, and they'll never talk about them. That she just carries them around.
Oh man,
because they have nothing to do with anything.
Over the last few weeks as well, y'all were talking about Harley Cameron's being great. I mean,
I said she's the one I like. She's entertaining.
Yes,
I like Harley Cameron.
Yeah, so I mean,
feel the wrath.
I think if you go back and you start looking at all the individual parts, you're like, that's good. You're talking about Ricochet, that's good. Will Ospreay, that's good. Kenny Omega's back, that's good.
I'll never say anything bad about Will Ospreay. Like, I mean, he's awesome, but like, there's one of him.
There is only one. But if you look at the individual parts, there are a lot of good things still with AEW right now, just in individual parts. But all together, it is kind of like a little disjointed.
But yeah, and I'm not comparing AEW to WWE because this is different. I'd be more apt to compare AEW to NXT, and I'm not even doing that. I'm comparing AEW now to what it was a year ago. Even 6 months ago, we were super invested. I'm not invested right now. I'm still watching every because I want to keep up with it and hoping something happens different. But it has changed a lot. It has changed a lot, and I know people. I know some people are gone, and maybe we miss the Elite. I don't know. Maybe we miss the Bucks and Jack Perry.
Diggs is right. Like I will agree with you. Like I think WWE's. And we talked about this. We said it from day one. When Triple H takes over and Vince is gone, WWE is going to be a lot better. And we knew that going into it. And I do think that
it couldn't have been any worse because it was real. It was real bad.
Well, it could always be worse. But I think we knew that it was going to be better. And I agree. I think that we are seeing what we always wanted WWE to be. And so, yes, it's now like, AEW is the redhead stepchild. Well, we don't need you anymore because we have our WWE, our nice shiny toy. But I still want AEW to be successful. Like, I don't want it dead just because WWE is better. Like, I still want that alternative. I still want to watch AEW for the more violence. Like, I know if I watch AEW, there's more violence there.
Kyle, right? I want to compare this to Tuesday night's basketball game. When you don't have competition, it sucks. Like, it makes things bad. Like, why do I need to prepare if I'm going to beat someone by 60, right? Like, now I don't have to try as hard. I don't have to go out and sign this. We're making money. We're doing well, right? But if you've got that alternative, and that's why we all wanted it, then it makes both have to keep trying to get better. And I think that's honestly what we all want.
I don't think, though, but I don't think where I'll push back, though, is I don't think that WWE's success is why I feel so bad about AEW. Like, I do think there are major issues within AEW. Is it as bad as we're making it out to be? Maybe not. But there are significant issues within AEW that need to be addressed. And I feel like Tony Khan is ignoring all of that because he has a vision of what he wants to see. And I think that is hurting his product, his baby. And I think it will come back to bite him when he starts losing. They may be over talented right now with all the talent, but he ain't using the talent he has now. So him losing the talent that he has, losing a Malachi, losing a Bret, losing all them, like that is going to eventually ruin him to where there is no other company. I don't want to see that happening. So I hope that TK can get it fixed and get it turned around because I want AEW to be successful. But right now, there are major issues that need to be addressed.
You lose a few wrestlers and add a few more belts. There you go. That seems like what happens. It's like who can have the most titles. Man, that's a lot to. We got to jump in the Rumble, I guess, now, guys, and talk a little bit about the Rumble. Anybody else got anything before we kind of preview the Rumble?
I'll just throw some shade at you since you're making fun of AEW in the same way that WWE is having problems with because they just added 2 new women's belts on top of things. So how many belts are we going to have over there? It seems like they have so many belts that they don't even have time to defend them over there anymore.
Well, hold on. I will at least say at least they're WWE belts and not ROH belts and TNA belts and New Japan belts. At least they're just their belts. We don't have 50 other belts from 50 other companies.
I think part of that is the equal thing, Diggs. They wanted to be the men's and women's divisions equal, right? So now you've got the same belts on both sides. I think and the women's division is growing so much that, especially NXT, they got some girls coming up. They did the same thing. They had the North American title in NXT. They added it. And it adds an extra story in there. I don't know if what they're done with them yet. I'm still up in the air about those. I like Chelsea Green's character. I think it's
I think it gives her an extra something to do. And then I think like Lyra's probably going to defend hers at Mania against Becky, and so I'd be okay with that. But the thing that's got buried with WWE, I will say, is the tag titles. Like those went back to being useless. Like, and tag team wrestling overall right now is just really bad in all companies. And the best tag team right now is Fraxium and NXT, but then they really don't have many people to defend against either. But the just tag team wrestling is kind of, it's bad in AEW, it's bad in WWE, it's bad everywhere right now. And so because I think I saw the other day, it'll be the first tag team title defense at Royal Rumble, will be the first one since Mania for the tag titles to be defended at a pay-per-view or a PLE. So that's kind of crazy.
It's War Raiders, and who's the other one?
No, it's Motor City Machine Guns and DIY. DIY is the champion right now.
Oh, but I thought War Raiders had the belts now.
They do on their show.
Oh, there's 2 belts.
But they don't have a match. Yeah, they don't have a match.
Oh,
DIY
no,
is on the other.
I was just talking about who are the titles, and
that's DIY
actually
has it. And they're facing.
I like the War Raiders. I like them in the ring, but and I'm glad they got rid of Viking Experience and Viking. I'm glad it went back to War Raiders. That was what they should have done originally.
But but you got Judgment Day, and then you got the Creed brothers, but they don't really use them as a team. Like, you don't really have many teams on Raw to challenge them. And then they actually have some teams on SmackDown, but
don't forget about the New Day.
Yeah,
and that's at least one of the more entertaining things that's happening right now. But they're trying something new with them, and
they're doing one-on-ones with Rey Mysterio though.
Yeah, the mega heel stuff. But like you said, the tag team division is really bad. and they still haven't generated any major new stars at the end of the day. They tried to do Damian Priest, and I think Damian Priest, if he lost to Otis tomorrow, you wouldn't be surprised. I mean, and then you've got even Gunther, who's been the champion for a while. I mean, he's kind of just that B champion. He lost to Cody at Royal at the Saudi Arabia event, and he has nothing on the Royal Rumble, and he got Saturday night main event, and that's just kind of where he's at. So still WWE is riding heavy on their big stars, but that second tier, nobody is really, I think Liv Morgan's the last one that's made a big jump.
Jay Uso needs it. Like Jay Uso right now, I was hoping he would win. Like I figured they were going to keep it on Gunther, but man, he is so hot. Like,
yeah,
you see it every week on Raw, but when you're there, I mean, it's just, the pop he gets is bigger than anybody, I think even more than Cody. I'd say. I mean, it's ridiculous. So at some point they got to pull the trigger on that. I mean, he's like, I don't know, it's compared to Daniel Bryan, but that's kind of he just kind of came out of nowhere. Like he's always was good, and then it's like it clicked at the right time, and he just is so over. I wish they'd reward him. I know they gave him a little small title run, with the Intercontinental title, but I wish they'd give him a world title run here soon, because man, he is so over.
One thing I see on Facebook every now and then is they have these like reels, and at least I've trained mine to like some of the older wrestling stuff, and Jey Uso kind of reminds me of Enzo and whoever the big guy for a while, but they were hot for a while.
The Redwood,
Big Bill.
Redwood. What I can't remember who he was over in
Big Cass.
Yeah, but I mean, like that, the SAWFT, that stuff was over like Jay, and then it just disappeared, and I worry that if they don't capitalize with Jay, it's going to turn into something like that he's not going to stand alone. He's just going to be big with the entrance, and then it goes away, and they don't do anything with it.
Another couple of instances like that was Shinsuke when he first came up. His like that, and then it went away, and now they brought him back with a new character. And then Bobby Roode was like that too. He came and had the entrances, and then they just I saw that one popped up on my feed yesterday, and I was like,
that was his entrance was great. Like they dropped the ball,
and he was great, but then they just didn't. Yeah. They didn't. But that was also a different era too. So
yeah,
that was the Vince McMahon era.
They're playing his theme music at the Predators games. I mean, that's how over he was. It was like everywhere for a while, and then they do nothing with him.
LA Knight's kind of in that same boat. Like, is it too late for?
I'm kind of over him.
I know, but like he was super hot too, coming for LA Knight was big there for a while. Now his pops aren't as big. I kind of wonder if they'll end up turning him heel at some point. And
well, I thought they would already pull that trigger, and they kind of teased it and just didn't go with it.
Yeah. Speaking of turning heel, we'll start this match because I see it right here. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes ladder match. Man, Kyle, your reaction there. You got some thoughts there? I mean, are you tired of Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes?
No, I'm just very disappointed in Uncle Kevin. I'm just upset with Uncle Kevin and his actions. That's all.
Okay, so you're not claiming Uncle Kevin anymore. Is he going to be?
Oh, I love
Kevin,
this version of Uncle Kevin.
Kevin is right. I just want to say, but I don't like how he's going about it. I just don't like it. Okay.
Okay. All right.
This is one of my favorite versions of Kevin Owens. I like NXT heel Kevin Owens. I like these versions of Kevin Owens. I don't like the nice guy Kevin Owens. I like and his shirt game is on point. I mean, he faced Jimmy. They're not wearing a Naomi shirt. The Canadian whatever dream of
Canadian dream or something.
The Canadian son of a security systems technician.
But the Naomi shirt and all that, like his shirt game is on point. So this is one of the best versions of Kevin, and I'm looking forward to this match. And I like how they've kind of tied in everything with he's kind of played guilt trip Sammy and said, hey, like you're loyal. Are you going to be loyal? And I've been your best friend for a long time. We're still friends. You gonna help me out here? And they even when Sammy had another accidental kick the other night, to Cody, it set the previous week, and then Cody the other night, who did they show immediately right behind them? Kevin Owens, and Kevin just kind of grinned and walked out. So I'm interested to see if Sammy I don't know if he has to interfere in this match, but I think you have to show him at least backstage or something in this match because he ties into the story, and so he has to be somewhat involved in this match, whether he comes out or if they do, because they're doing a lot of cool backstage stuff lately. They really did it in NXT last night. The NXT they were huge in the backstage shots, and I love the different cameras and stuff and different things they're doing WWE overall. So man, I'm looking forward to this match. I'm almost Cody's gonna win, but I'm looking forward to this match. I think you're giving us four matches, and they're all gimmick matches. You got two Rumbles, a ladder match, and the 2 out of 3 falls. So no just traditional hey let's get it matches. So there will be 2 pinfalls in the 2 out of 3. But other than that, there's no pinfalls in this show. It's all different methods of victory.
Well, then Kyle's going to be upset because the refs can't get knocked out. It's not going to affect the match.
God.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Cody's going to win. I think it's interesting where they go. Randy Orton's been out a while. Could he return? And because obviously this is a no DQ match. It's a ladders match. So I'm interested to see more of who shows up in this match and gets involved in this match for me. I know, they want to do Cody and Randy. Does Randy come and turn on Cody and come after the title here? I don't know. I think that I'm more interested in that. I think this is going to be a really good match. These guys are going to kill it. I have no doubt in the ring that it's going to be a really good match. But I'm really intrigued on who's going to be lingering around this match and who's going to show up and end up interfering.
Yeah, I think. I was mentioning I keep seeing some of these highlights, and one that came across my feed the other day was Kevin Owens doing a package pile driver on a ladder between 2 ladders in an ROH ladder match. So Kevin is going to do something insane as far as a spot goes, and he can wrestle. It's one of the most, for me, one of the most look forward to world championship matches, as far as I think we're going to have a really good quality match. I know it feels like we kept talking about in PLEs, like when Seth was champion, this match has a really good chance, Seth and AJ, and it just always disappointed. I think this one's going to be really good, but I don't think there's going to be any mystery as to who wins. But I think what's going to be the mystery is what storylines are going to come out of this. And Sammy could go heel. We could see something like that. We could see RKO coming out of nowhere. There's so many things that could come out of this match. I don't know what we're going to see because I have not been reading the dirt sheets like Dirt Sheet Brandon has.
Allegedly.
Listen, you just said something, though, that just off the seat of what Diggs just said, here's my new prediction that I'm going for this match. I like the call. I think Sammy goes heel. I think we get a Sammy and KO reunite, teaming up together. And so, to your point, Diggs, I think Sammy comes out to maybe just be there to make sure everything is on the up and up, whatever. Like Sammy trying to be Sammy. And he inadvertently gets involved and costs Cody the match where Kevin wins the Winged Eagle and the WWE Championship, and then that's when Sammy joins forces with KO. Because I think eventually we're going to get a Sammy, KO, Drew, and Seth faction formed to all go against the Bloodline. I think eventually that's what's going to end up happening. But right now, I like what Diggs just said. Give me Sammy to come out and help KO win the championship from Cody.
You're going with Uncle Kevin. Okay.
That's right. I don't turn my back on family.
Okay. All right.
You're like Sammy.
Exactly.
All right. Let's see. Next match here is the Rumble. We'll talk about the Rumbles last. Got the hold on a second. What was the other match? Because I guess I didn't have
It's 203 Falls tag. It's a DIY against
Okay.
Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay. Yeah. Did this match, was it made on Raw?
No, it's SmackDown.
Oh, was it? Okay. I guess I didn't see the match being made because I didn't have that on this card. Man, that's been interesting. DIY is. I kind of thought whenever all this started, I thought we were going to get Ciampa and Gargano split, and we were going to get some of those matches. I don't know if y'all saw those matches in NXT, Ciampa and Gargano going back and forth. Some of the best matches I've ever seen in NXT. Like literally, they pulled the padding off. They on the floor, like some of the just brutal matches. But I like what they've done with them here. You've got the connection with the Motor City Machine Guns, which we know how good they are in the ring. This is going to be a really good working tag match. We talked about the weakness of the tag division. These teams can go, and so I think this will be a good match. I'm going to go with DIY. I think they're right now kind of the hot tag team. They've got a lot of stories they can do with them. I think they carry the titles a while, and then maybe we get a split from them and we get some matches from them down the road. But I'm going to say they keep it for now, so I'm going to go with DIY.
I got DIY too. This will be just a very good entertaining match. So yeah, I think it'll be a fun one. And I guess I wonder how they'll do. I guess Cody and Kevin will open the show, or will they open with one of the Rumbles, or
they could open with a Rumble. They've opened with a Rumble before.
Yeah,
you had the Rumble weekend.
I'm interested to see which Rumble is the main event. I think it'll be the men's this year, but depending what they got planned, it could be the women's. They main event with the women's before when if they have certain things planned. I think the men. The men will main event this year.
I think it's the men. I think the way it's going to end. I think the men's.
Yeah. But yeah. So I'm interested to see where they place this match. If it's first, or if it's before Rumble, or if it's just kind of. But I'm looking forward to it. And I think DIY wins and retains.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're gonna win. It'll be a good match, but it's obviously going to be probably the second or third match just to kind of buffer you in between. One of the bigger matches. And it'll be good, but I think that it'll just be kind of something that the Big Goose may go take his big deuce during that match and come back for maybe the third fall. We'll see, because again, they're great, but when you're talking about these four matches that we're talking about, this is clearly the one that doesn't belong. We're going back to Sesame Street. Three of these things belong together. This is the one that doesn't fit. And I think you could put any number of matches as that fourth match. And again, I know you can't push the tag team division without pushing the tag team division, but this was a curious decision.
This is not a bathroom break match. There are no bathroom break matches on this card. I will just say no bathroom break matches on this card.
You heard it first. No bathroom break matches.
We talked, earlier we talked about how tag team wrestling is kind of down across the board, across the industry as a whole. These are two of the best tag teams around in Motor City Machine Guns and in DIY. I think these four men in this ring. My issue with this is that we've seen it quite a bit already. In Motor City Machine Guns hasn't been in WWE that long, but I feel like we've seen this 2 or 3 times already. And we're getting essentially at least 2 more matches out of them Saturday because it's 2 out of 3 falls. But we know it's probably going to go 3 falls. That's my only issue. It feels like they're just kind of – I get it. They're in a feud with each other, but –
Did y'all say the transfer portal is still open, or the transfer window
at the Rumble?
Can we through the Rumble? Yeah.
Can we transfer them after this match over to Raw? So that maybe we get another tag team. Let's split them. They've had a bunch of matches. Let's split them for a while. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match. It's going to be a great 2 out of 3 falls. I think DIY wins by hook or crook. I don't think they do it clean. I think it's a dirty win how they do it because that's how Johnny and Tommaso have been performing here recently. But I think it's going to go 3 falls, and I think that DIY wins it not clean, very dirty.
Okay. Next, we'll talk about the women's. this is such a hard match to predict, right? I mean, you got 30 women competing. You know, we know a good handful of them. You know, we talked about Charlotte coming back. We think maybe have they officially announced if Becky Lynch is in it, or we just are predicting that she's going to show? I think
we're predicting they haven't. They shouldn't announce that either. Like either she shows up or she doesn't. But if she does, it should be a semi surprise. Even though
I don't think they should have announced Charlotte. I didn't like them announcing Charlotte at the Rumble. Like, just have her show up at the Rumble. Why announce that she's going to be at the Rumble?
That was a little different. They don't normally do.
The thing with Charlotte though, she's not going to get a big pop anyway. With her, like she's not going to get a huge pop. So you can announce hers. Where Becky's music kit, that's gonna pop.
Jade Cargill return here, possibly. Gonna go throw Naomi out and get a revenge and start a feud there, probably. Yeah. There's a lot of possibilities here. I mean, I could see him going Charlotte here, getting the win. I don't know that she needs it. I've seen, you got Bianca Belair. Would they push her again? Maybe. I don't know. And Dirtchi, you may know. You've probably looked at the odds on this one. He's like, yes,
I got them up right now. I got some props and everything.
I mean, the odds. It's got to be hard as odds makers on the actual Rumble. It's a little harder than the actual one-on-one matches.
Yeah, they got it though. So back in like August, I've had from like August to probably January 1st, I've had the same two Rumble winners who I thought was going to be, and it was always that Becky and Cena, and I've totally shifted on that. And Cena could still win. I don't think Becky wins anymore, and we'll get to the men's one. I'll say who I think is going to win that one. I'm probably going to go with the odds on. They could go off the wall. I think Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton are going to face at Mania. So whether it's by Charlotte winning the Rumble but I was like, what do they do with Rhea? Like, who does Rhea face at Mania? And so, but Charlotte is the favorite to win the Rumble, and I'm gonna say she wins the Rumble. But for odds, Charlotte's minus 200, which in a match with 30 people, that's incredible. Like normally the favorite's going to be still plus money, and she's minus as in a 30-woman match. It says a lot. And so I hate to go with chalk here, but I think Charlotte wins and she is the favorite. But the second favorite they have is Bianca. And then they got Io Sky, which kind of surprised me, third. And then Becky, then Alexa, and then Liv. And then they got Jordan Grace just signed with WWE, officially a multi-year deal too, and a lot of money. I think they said it was like the 5th highest contract in history. It was just
she has basically turned over her body. I don't know if y'all saw her before. Yeah. I mean, she was like Nia Jax big. Almost.
She actually but she's short too, so it was different.
Yeah, but she was huge.
She posted like a kind of before and after today.
Yeah, she is cut. That would be cool to see her. I mean, she's one that's strong would be cool. She would be able to throw some girls over.
I think she'll have a big performance here. At least they got her 7th, and then they got Jade Cargill, and then they got Naomi, Nia, Tiffany all together, and then Asuka, Lara, Rhea. Rhea shouldn't even be in this, and the same with Tiffany, and then Ronda Rousey. They got them all together, but Ronda just had a baby, so I don't see her being in it. And then they got everybody else is 100-1, just a bunch of names. I think we'll see Nikki Bella. Punk threw out a hint. Maybe we get an AJ Lee here, so that would be awesome. I don't think she shows up, but Punk at least teased it today. But I do think we get. I think Nikki Bella would be one of the surprises. I think we get. I like to see maybe Roxanne Perez, some couple NXT people. Who knows? They may try out like Lita and some of those that they always bring back as women's ones. They bring back legends more for these. So, and used to they kind of had to necessity. They have so many women now. They don't have to do that as much.
I think you see some NXT. I think Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a few others from the NXT roster. Maybe someone like Jordan, what's her name? Jordan. She was the North American champion.
Kiana Jordan.
Kiana Jordan, because she's so does some cool moves like her Sol Ruka, like the ones that can do some cool, like maybe they get eliminated and they catch themselves or doing some kind of cool stunts trying to keep themselves the Kofi Kingston of the Royal Rumble. So I think that's a possibility. I'm with you though. I feel like Bianca and Jade are going to have a storyline, but I don't know if it's going to be before or after the whole. I don't know if was she in on it. Was she tired of Jade Cargill taking the spotlight, and was she in on it with Naomi, or was Naomi working alone?
I think Bianca Jade will be at SummerSlam.
Oh, you think it's going to push off?
I think we get Jade Naomi at Mania, and then Bianca Jade.
Yeah, I think it makes most sense. Charlotte, there's going to be some other storylines intertwined with some other things. I'm going to go with Charlotte too.
I have a question. Can y'all help me figure out this logic gap? So,
okay,
Jade got attacked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has she been in a coma? Has nobody talked to her and asked her? Because you said she's going to come in and throw Naomi out. How does she know it's Naomi? And if she knows it's Naomi, how come she hasn't told Bianca it's Naomi? Can she not talk?
Because she's going to make a surprise back and attack her, get that surprise.
So nobody's heard from Jade.
No, I mean, have you talked to her? How about Uncle Kevin? Maybe Uncle
Kevin.
Kevin.
Brandon Phillips has.
Well, we hope. Anyway, I was just thinking about that, and that made no sense to me. Like, is she not able to speak? Does she not know who attacked her?
Just waiting and biding her time, Kyle. Seeing, letting them have their fun in the sun, and when they least expect it, at the Rumble, when they least expect it, there's never a surprise entrance.
Right.
And like Bret said, Bianca may be on it too. So Bianca may have blocked her number.
But even then, so Jade ain't done no promos like, I know who it was. I know who got me. I'm coming for you. See you at the Rumble.
Because she don't want to announce she's at the Rumble. Otherwise, you'd be complaining then, Kyle, because she announced that she was going to be in it.
And because also, we don't know how long she's supposed to be out. So
yeah,
saying we have heard nothing. Like maybe she shows up at the Rumble, but I'm just saying Kyle, if she does, why do we think that?
When I see someone go through a car windshield like that, I don't want to hear from them. So they come back.
Right.
That's like you want to hear from JD McDonough next week too? He probably not going to be in the Rumble. I think he's out of the Rumble.
Say we need to hear. That's been 3 or 4 or 5 months ago that she's been put through a car window. I mean, Seth Rollins got tsunami'd 6 times, and he came back a couple months later. So I'm just saying, if we want to make Jade out to be this big bad woman, she should be back by now.
We need a big Bronson Reed's appearance in the Rumble.
That we'll get to him. But what I'm saying is, if Jade's coming back at the Rumble, like I think she'll be back. I think she returns at the Rumble. All I'm saying is, why do we just assume she's going to come back for revenge on who hurt her when we ain't heard from her in 6 months? That's all I'm saying.
So maybe she comes back, she doesn't know, and then Naomi throws her out and gives a little hint that it was her.
Maybe.
Okay.
Hey, we got possibilities. I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe she lost her memory and then slowly she regained it back over the weeks and she starts remembering things, Kyle. Like
this is a Vince McMahon storyline. Yeah. It loses the memory. And
Kyle,
all of a sudden it starts coming back.
Who's going to win, Kyle?
All right, who you got?
Go ahead. Go with. I'm not picking. Charlotte's so boring. Like I hate that.
It is boring.
I hate that. And the fact that she has negative odds, like she's the only one that's got negative odds, like that bothers me because that makes me feel like she's gonna. And the fact that she's already been announced to come at the. I don't like it. I don't want her to win it. I don't like it. So I'm gonna go with. I think either Bayley or Io win because we saw on Raw that Bayley came up to Rhea and was like, hey, I won this last year and cashed in and won. And Rhea's like, yeah, good luck. Like basically shrugged Bayley off like she was not even important. And then as soon as Bailey turned around, there's Io standing there. So I'm going to go with, I don't think they give it to Bailey back-to-back years. So give me Io. I'm taking Io to win.
Okay.
That's what Dig says. I got a couple things I want to do.
I don't really both of these I don't really know, and I think we're going to see a little bit of surprises. I don't think we're going to see the favorites win, but I wanted to go back and I wanted to see who's won the Royal Rumble over the last 8 years for the women, and it's a really who's who list. You got Asuka, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Bianca, Ronda, Rhea, and Bayley. So those are your winners so far as far as who's won the Royal Rumble. And to me, the only big star there that has not won it, who I would say is a big star, is Liv. And she is available to be in, that's a winnable person. She's on the odds list. So if I have to pick somebody, I'm going to pick Liv, because I don't think they're going to have Charlotte doesn't need it. I mean, we're going to have a women's elimination chamber. Put a lot else in it. Who needs it? I think Liv needs it.
Do we need to see Liv and Rhea again, though?
It doesn't have to be Liv and Rhea.
No, but Liv can go after the other title. Liv can go after. She doesn't have to go after Rhea.
She's not going to, though. We know what's going to happen. She's going to be drawn back over, and it's going to be another round of, I don't know.
Maybe not.
Or maybe Rhea, like you said, we got elimination chamber. Maybe Rhea loses it before then.
I mean, good.
So we all kind of gave, and Kyle gave an off the wall one too with Bailey. He gave 101. I'd like us to go. So anyone not named Charlotte, Bianca, Io, Becky, Alexa, Liv, Jordan Grace, or Jade Cargill, someone 51 or more. My dark horse one in that category would be, I'll say Nia Jax. She's 50 to 1. And Kyle said Bailey, who's 100 to 1. If y'all had a dark horse, who would y'all say?
My dark horse would probably be Jade, just because I think that
She's
they could
41. I'll give you that. I'll give you Jade. I was going to go her, but I don't
know that she's going to be in it. I mean, she's at least not being announced to be in it, so it would be a surprise. And there's just as good of a chance that she won't even be in it. They may still stretch this storyline out even more.
Trying to think who else.
Alexa Bliss would be another one that would be one of those out of nowhere.
But she's 10 to 1. She's the fifth favorite. So.
Oh wow.
And she may not be in it either. She probably won't be.
I think it would be. Is Asuka on the odds?
That's a good one. No, she's 66 to 1. I like that.
I mean,
her.
She hasn't been around.
I like that one. I almost said Asuka. And then I have a couple of women's props. Most eliminations. Nia's the favorite. Bianca and then Charlotte are second, third. I'm gonna say Jordan Grace though.
I'm saying Jordan. I'm going Jordan.
Jordan Grace.
And then the over under for most eliminations of Women's Rumble 7. I'm gonna say push. I'm gonna say 7.
I think she goes over that. I think.
Oh, you do?
I'm saying over. I'm going 8.
She comes in and does some kind of Kane type elimination where she just starts eliminating people.
And then will anyone in the Women's Rumble be eliminated in under 10 seconds? I'm gonna say no. Unless it's Chelsea.
No.
They did that last year. So
I don't. Yeah, it's hard to know when you don't know who's not going to be.
Well, no is the favorite by a long shot. So.
Okay. All right. We all want to talk about the men now.
Let's go.
All right. So y'all's upset pick was Matt. You had who? I want to write these down so in case we do, hit a home run that we can, have that.
I'm gonna go with Liv Morgan for my regular and Jade as my upset.
Okay, Jade. Okay. And Brandon, did you have Asuka too?
No, Charlotte and Nia.
Oh, you had Nia. That's right. Who'd you have, Kyle? Who was your long shot?
Bailey.
100 to 1.
Hey, Bailey. Ooh.
Ah. All right. So men's Royal Rumble. I think, man, this is the year. It's his year. I still think it's John Cena. I think they're gonna because otherwise I don't see how you can. I mean, obviously there could be a elimination chamber match. He could get to the title that way. he's got to get to his title. He's got to hit that 17 this year. I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to give it to him. And him coming back, he even said it on air. He said, "I don't deserve a shot. How can I get there?" The Royal Rumble. I think close behind him and second would be CM Punk is my second, probably right behind that. Those are my two favorites to win. But I'm gonna go with Cena, man. I think it's a cool story. I think Punk can get his shot another way because he's had some good wins and he's been there. Cena hasn't. He's got to cheat his way up to the front of the line to get that title. And anybody on any given day, the champ can win. So give me John Cena.
Yeah, as like I said, in August to about January 1st, I said Cena, but I've shifted recently, and I'm going with Punk. And I thought about The Rock too, but I'm going with Punk. Seth's also kind of interesting, and then when we go dark horses a little bit, I got some dark horses I'm kind of intrigued by. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Punk, and I think they keep throwing out the Paul Heyman favor. And so I'm interested to see if that plays in here in the Rumble at all. Does Heyman come out and help eliminate Roman somehow, or distract distract Roman and Punk eliminates him? Because I think we get Punk and Roman are in that final four, and it's just who joins them. And so do we get something there to kind of tease that? And does The Rock come back, and do we get something with The Rock? And There's a lot we can. Man, I'm really intrigued with this match because there's gonna be so many good people, so many stories. I don't know how many surprises we get in this one. Like The Rock would be a surprise technically. I'm hoping we get a Joe Hendry. I'm hoping, but
yeah.
Hey, that would if that's the only surprise, I'd be fine with it just to hear that pop at the Rumble. But other than that, we're gonna know who's pretty much in this match. And it's just, I'm going to go with Punk. I think, he was the one that was supposed to win last year, and then he got hurt and they had to pivot. But also, it's going to be hard because Seth's in there. He hates Punk. Cena's in there. Roman's in there. Drew's in there. A lot of people are going to be gunning for Punk. So it's not going to be easy, but I think he finds a way.
Yeah, so many different stories, so many different ways you can go with this. It's like, how do you picture WrestleMania? How do you want to get there? For me, I think you can go with several different storylines. I could even see Roman winning, and maybe the favor ends up being CM Punk gets his title shot. There's a lot of different things you can see with this. For whatever reason, though, I think the crowd will riot if John Cena wins. I don't think, as over as he is, I don't think they want to see him in a main event. I just don't think he is that over as far as the wrestling community goes, especially in a big stadium like that. Obviously in a smaller stadium, he's going to be popular because of his movie star status. But I don't think people want to see him, and they may end up having to pivot if they go that way, kind of like they did last year with The Rock, because I think they will rebel against John Cena, and hopefully they're smart enough to see that. For me, for whatever reason, I see Roman Reigns winning this. So I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. Whether he gets to keep the shot or not, I don't know. But I think we're going to Cody Roman 3 if we're not going to have Roman Rock. And I think that's the biggest match you can give us at WrestleMania. And I think that's what we're going to see.
I feel about John Cena winning the same way I feel about Charlotte Flair winning. It's boring. It's just boring. It just doesn't do anything for me. And nobody's seeing your pick either, Bret. That's the thing. Nobody's seeing it. I like what Diggs said, and before Diggs said it, I was thinking Roman. But the whole time I was thinking Roman because as the tribal chief, he should win this. He should have his tribe around him to help him win this. The problem is, I think there's another tribe that's going to be around that's going to be taking out his tribe. So I don't know if he's
there's a Samoan werewolf, Kyle, looming.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if he's going to be able to win it. But I think, and then even if Roman did win it, then I'm thinking, like you said, Diggs, like, well, that probably leads to Roman and Cody 3, but that's boring. Like, I don't want to see Roman and Cody for a third time. Like, I don't. But I also, like, I think, so here's what I'm going with. I think Roman wins it. I think Roman wins the Rumble. And then at the end of the Rumble, as the fireworks are going off and Roman's pointing, we hear The Rock's music come out. And that's when we get The Rock coming out to set up a chaotic whatever is going to happen on the road to WrestleMania. Because Rock has said this from the jump, and Triple H has said it too. Like, there's going to be surprises, and there's going to be twists and turns that – and Rock says, sit back and enjoy the ride. I'll listen to The Rock and sit back and enjoy the ride. I'm not listening to John Moxley when he says it, but I'll listen to Dwayne Johnson when he tells me to sit back and enjoy the ride. But I think there's something cooking for WrestleMania. Like, there's something cooking. And we thought that on the Netflix debut on Raw, we thought we were going to get a big reveal about what's going to happen on the road to WrestleMania, and we didn't. We didn't really get anything. I think at Royal Rumble Saturday, Roman wins, and as he's celebrating, Rock comes out, and that puts us on the road to WrestleMania. So Roman is who I'm picking to win, but I think Rock ultimately gets the win, if that makes sense. Like, I think Rock takes it from Roman because he's the final boss, and he can do that because he's the executive. So I think he takes Roman's win from him, but Roman wins it, but Rock actually wins it.
Okay.
All right. So you know, Bret did go with the favorite. Cena is the favorite, 1-1. So just flat even odds. He's not as big a favorite like Charlotte, but he's the favorite. And then Seth is second, then Punk, then The Rock, then Roman, then Randy, and then Sammy. So I'd say we cut off there after Sammy for a dark horse. I'm gonna go with Jacob Fatu as my dark horse, 50-1.
Real quick. Isn't it funny that Roman has announced himself for the Rumble? Rock has not said a word about the Rumble, and Rock has better odds of winning the Rumble than Roman does. That blows my mind.
He's the final.
I agree. But yeah, Fatu's my dark horse. But Logan Paul's also a 50-1, and if I was gonna go real bold, I'd go Ludwig Kaiser at 150-1 because I'd really I'd like to see him get pushed and see him. But I think Kevin Gunther will be down the line later, and maybe not even for the title, but we'll get that later. So it's not Ludwig Kaiser's turn yet. But I think hopefully they give him a good showing in this because I like him. I think he's got potential. But Logan Paul I could see because I've been hearing a lot of Logan Paul and Gunther, but I don't think Logan wins the Rumble. But Logan Paul, Gunther, and they tease it they're not. That could be a Mania match, and for that other title. But you know,
it's not Logan Paul versus Jake Paul for a title. Oh wait, though, that's the other one. That's the other event.
Yeah.
Y'all heard that right? They're fighting now.
No, they're not. That was
it's a reality series
for a reality show.
Oh,
it was all
really
a troll job.
Right.
No,
man.
It was all a troll job. It's a reality show, Max.
Oh man,
Jake Paul knows what he's doing.
Man, that's a.
So yeah, that's also like 2 weeks before Mania. Ain't no way that was gonna happen. But no, I don't. Fatu is my dark horse. But I mean, obviously my Punk was my. But yeah, Fatu, that's who my dark horse. Who y'all got?
I don't think he'd win, but I like Braun Breaker to make a big appearance. I think he's gonna.
Ooh, I do like that. And is he even on here? I like that.
Braun announced himself for the Rumble. That's a good.
Yeah, he's 66-1 right after Logan Paul. Yeah.
I think he's going to eliminate a lot of guys. I think they, put him over as, the man he is.
Is Jay one of the top odds? Did you say his name?
No, I almost went with him. No, he's
my dark horse.
Yeah, he's 66-1 also. Just like
I'm picking
just like
Jay.
Braun.
But if it's not Jay, this is my extra dark horse pick for you because I think they're setting this up. Goldberg. I think Goldberg could return.
He's 75-1.
That's my super dark horse. My super dog pick. But my first pick is Jay, but my super dog is Goldberg.
Goldberg's got the same odds as Cody, Brock, Big E, Gunther, Kevin, and Sammy.
So Cody's gonna be in a ladder match, and then he's gonna jump in the Rumble.
Well, Kevin too.
I mean, Yeah, but Kevin, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did if he didn't have the title. Like if he loses, then he jumps in and
But y'all picked him to win, so
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't, but
I picked Cody Rhodes. The only one that picked KO was KO.
Oh, I thought Diggs did too. Okay.
No, he had Cody.
Okay. Who's Diggs' dark horse?
One thing I'd be interested in, and I know it's going to sound so ridiculous when I say this, but it's my heart speaking more than anything else. I wonder if there are odds that an AEW person, because Tony seems open-minded enough, like he'd throw an AEW person. Like, yeah, I don't know who it would be, but just throw one out.
Will Ospreay.
Not a chance Tony Khan would let
Jericho
touch the Royal Rumble. Not a chance.
We don't have any. We don't have any AEW.
The right thing. I can see it happen.
We don't have any AEW people.
Could you imagine the pop of Jericho's music if break the wall down? I mean, it would probably be bigger than Cena's.
That would only do something for WWE, though. Like, why would Tony do that for WWE?
No, but it would giving Jericho that kind of publicity would be huge, because that's what's going to be the viral moment of the day, and then they have to talk about it on Raw and Netflix the next day, that they'd be effectively advertising AEW over and over, because where's Jericho? It could work.
But they're not gonna.
I would love to see something like that.
But when they go to AEW to see Jericho and they see, hi guys, the learning tree crap, they're gonna turn it immediately back off.
I think the one where you could get the pop would be Edge.
You mean Cope?
Like, you could.
Yeah, but that's the other thing. And then you turn over, it's like, who's Cope?
Who's Cope?
And
is that Copenhagen?
My dark horse pick that I'm just going to kind of throw it out there is just kind of a weird one. Story that has not happened yet at any of these Rumbles has basically been the winner goes and challenges for NXT. So if you could see a random at some point, you need to have that just to make it, because you have so many good storylines right now. The Royal Rumble winner doesn't have to be, you can have really good main events without that Royal Rumble winner being, your person there. So you could see somebody like, I know Obafemi is now the champion, somebody like Trick coming in there and winning a Royal Rumble, and like, okay, I'm going to go get my come up against Obafemi. So if you want a complete dark horse for me, how about Trick Williams winning? Because he's a star waiting to break up.
He is on here at 200-1. He has worse odds than Stone Cold and Triple H.
Ooh. Well, I mean, I definitely think he makes an appearance. I mean, I definitely would see him, because he would give a big pop. I think him and Joe Hendry would be the big pops of the night if they were.
Diggs didn't Charlotte technically, when she won, didn't she go for the NXT title against Rhea that year?
Maybe. I mean, there was something with that.
They faced at Mania for the NXT title, Charlotte and Rhea.
Was that COVID year though?
Yeah, it was that. Yeah.
Nobody remembers that. We only remember Rey Mysterio losing his eye, But I'm just saying the men haven't had that storyline. Like, I think there's something you can do.
And so
this would be the year to do it too, with all the storylines in it. You could afford to have
that's what he said,
a lesser name win it. Yeah,
I'd be okay with that. Some props here: most eliminations. The favorites: Jacob Fatu, then Braun Breaker, then Drew McIntyre.
I'm going Braun.
I'm gonna say Fatu.
I'm going Braun.
Those are both good picks.
The way they push Jacob against Braun Strowman, I think you're going to continue that.
What about Big Bronson Reed?
Is he going to be able to come back? Is he due back? Is he healed?
He's on the odds, but I don't know. I don't know how close he is.
If he's able to come back, I think he returns. But then if he comes back, I'm gonna I pick him. Of course, I pick Big Bronson Reed.
Their over/under for eliminations is 7.5.
I mean, he can dive on top of a car and get right up, Kyle. Unlike Jake Carter.
I'm going the over on that too with 8. I'm going 8.
Yeah, that's all I'll say. And then they said, will anyone be eliminated under 10 seconds in the men's rumble? And yes is the big favorite. I'm gonna say no, because I don't see who you would eliminate. Like
who? Unless
Jericho.
it's Miz,
Come on.
maybe Miz, like Miz
Miz.
could run down there and
one of the
get spooked.
Wyatts,
Or like
Wyatt
Carlito.
the Wyatt Six
Or
could hit music
Carlito.
hit, and he could just run out of the ring and be scared.
I mean,
and
you could have did
Yeah.
McDonough before he got hurt.
They better not do it to McDonough. You cannot make him look stupid. Well, he can't. He's not gonna be there now, but you can't make him look stupid after what he just did.
No, say before that, yeah.
I could really see Miz getting in the ring, and
I
then
think it might be Miz.
their music hits, and he runs out and just leaves. And doesn't even.
I'll go with yes. And
And the Wyatts kind of scare him off.
Yeah, the Wyatt music hits, and he just takes off. Or he disappears. Or he disappears. They kidnap him.
Yeah. But then, I think it could be Miz. I think.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Man, it's going to be a really good event, guys. I'm excited.
I'm excited for this one
because, like you said, there's lots. The matches will be quality matches. No bathroom break matches officially from the Big Oos here.
Put it on the ticker.
We haven't got like the ball drawing this year.
That was dumb.
But they've always done it. They just you haven't seen it this year. Like,
hey,
numbers.
Do we have? Here's the issue with as popular as Jey Uso's entrance is. He came out at number 1 last year.
Did he?
You can't bring him out at number 1 again this year. But do you bring him out at number 2? Because if you bring him out in the middle of the Rumble is going to be stopped for 5 minutes because everybody's going to yeet. So, you may even have the people in the Rumble just be like, "Yeah, sure." That would be.
Yeah.
You got to stop the match when Joe Hendry appears.
Yeah.
He's gonna hit his pop right in the middle of the ring while they're doing their while they're wrestling. His camera zoom in right there on him.
It'd be funny if McAfee's like, "Man, yeah, that guy like Joe Hendry," and then all of a sudden his music hits like just without a countdown clock or anything.
Oh, do you think McAfee's gonna be in and maybe do something with him and Corey? Because they had me and Bret talked about it that day we went to Raw. Corey was supposed to be on NXT, then they pulled him, and then now he's back on NXT, and he's seeming to go along with it. But do we eventually get something with that, or?
I don't think it happens at the Rumble. I think McAfee's in the Rumble. Well, I don't think he's in the Rumble either.
So he could be in the commentary, and then all of a sudden his music hits.
Well, that's what he did last year.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened last year. And then he got in the ring and he saw Omos and he was like, "Nope, I'm good." And he got right back out of the ring.
I think Obafemi also would be a good one to. I know he's the champ, but he's a big dude. Give him some airtime.
His match at Vengeance Day is going to be interesting.
Now, one big picture thing that, if you'll allow me to lament about it, as we're talking about just the Royal Rumble and kind of things, and this speaks to the WWE and just how popular it is. I always, I've gone to many Royal Rumbles over the last decade, and I've looked several times for tickets at Lucas Oil, and I mean, you can't get in that stadium for under $250 right now. I mean, we're talking nosebleeds up in the top. You can't get in for under $250, and I just won't do that because when you're that high up, you're not going to get a great experience, and you're there, but I mean, it's one of those, and I just think that speaks to how hot the WWE is right now, because I mean, I remember going to the one at Minute Maid Park. It was like $30. You can get in for $30, and it was a good card. And now you are having to spend hundreds of dollars to go to WrestleMania, to go to the Royal Rumble, which kind of sucks for somebody cheap like me, especially when I can watch it for free on Peacock and produced, on my big screen TV. So just to like a little highlight of that. Man, it sucks for me, but good for WWE.
Well, I saw like the cheapest Mania tickets are like $1,500 just to get in the building.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy.
Well, that's what I told my mom and my girlfriend when we went to Raw. I said, I hope y'all enjoyed that because I don't know how many more of these we can do because they're even those tickets, like they weren't ridiculous price, but like even to go and enjoy the show, like for a family of 4, say it's a family of 4 that you're going to enjoy the show, you're talking $500, $600, $700 by the end by it's all said and done, and then that's not including any merch that you got to buy or any concessions that you get. Like I love how hot WWE is, but for the normal casual fan, they're pricing their normal casuals out. And I'm with you, Diggs. I can sit right here and enjoy it free of charge and go to the bathroom when I want, not have to deal with crowds. Like, that's great. Like, being in the arena to yeet with Jey Uso and have the experience, it's awesome, but it's unaffordable. And it's how hot the product is, which is great, but it sucks for casual fans that want to go and enjoy a show, and you can't. You have to enjoy it from home.
And we got our tickets before it went up, Kyle. Like, I think ended up being, I think ours were somewhere in the ballpark between 70 and 80
60 70 bucks a pop. Yeah,
somewhere in there. And so by the time, I think, Brandon, you said you went and looked later, everything was over 100 almost. And so,
and we were 5 rows. I was 5 rows from the rafters, like, and that's $80 a ticket to sit that high up. It's stupid.
And I didn't actually know that TNA was going to be in town till the day before. Like, I just don't even keep up with TNA. So I went to the Colwell Center. They had general admission for $25 the day of the event. Like, you could just $25. You can sit anywhere other than ringside. And when you have that kind of comparison, AEW is very affordable. It's $30 or $40. I worry that WWE may eventually price themselves out of the market when it comes to this stuff. It's like y'all say, it's crazy.
But it'll correct
That's
itself.
all. I just want to rant about that.
Will it correct itself though? Because as long as people keep
as long as they're selling out, it won't. But if they're selling out, then it's not going to be an issue because but he's saying if they price themselves out where it like gets where then people aren't coming no more, then it'll have to correct itself.
Yeah,
I think the funniest thing to me is when they send somebody out at one of these PLEs and they're like,
the largest gate.
Hey guys, it's the largest gate in WWE history.
We charged all the most money in history.
Yeah, like
we just spent the most money.
They're throwing it back in your face that they just charged you an arm and a leg and you paid for it, and now you're here and they're celebrating. And you're like, yeah, we did. Like, it's stupid.
It really shows you the drop off between them and NXT because NXT was at center stage that only had 750 people. And I've been looking, there's a really good X account. It's like WrestleTix. And it'll let you know how many people are there and how many people show up. NXT is in the 1,000 to 2,000s consistently. I mean, there's a big drop off between the NXT crowds and the regular Raw and SmackDown crowds. NXT is not even drawing as well as AEW does. And AEW is not drawing well at all. So I think as excited as y'all are about NXT, there is still a very big drop off in popularity between NXT and WWE.
Well, I mean, but between WWE, but like NXT, like their ratings and their attendance over AEW has been mostly if they've been in similar arenas, NXT's been getting more, and so, but like NXT's just been going to small.
Yeah, they're doing like two times a month. I think they're going to be traveling out of the.
They were somewhere recently and got 10,000 people. I mean, so.
Yeah.
Well, certain places AEW can get 10,000. They just announced their pay-per-view in Philadelphia. They'll sell that out. I bet we'll get 25,000 here at.
But the Australian one was supposed to be at a 15,000 venue, and they had to scale down to 2,500 because they couldn't sell it.
Real quick, I forgot about that. Let me explain this to you, Bret, because you completely. Let me tell you how botched this AEW Grand Slam Australia has been from the jump. Let me talk to you. Yeah, they were supposed to be at this big stadium in either Brisbane or Melbourne, one of those places in Australia. They're supposed to be a big stadium show, 50, 60,000 people, right? Well, they realized quickly, they're like, we are not going to be able to sell this. So they downsized to a smaller venue for about 10 to 15,000. No problem. That's fine. So then, how long have they known when the NBA All-Star game is? You could have scheduled this for any weekend, literally any weekend. And they decided to schedule it for the All-Star weekend. Okay, that's not smart, but no big deal. You have Max. Why not just air it live on Max and let TNT and all them have the NBA All-Star game, right? Nope. They have not even announced the time for this thing. When they show the graphic, it just says Saturday, February, whatever. Doesn't say a time, just says Saturday, February, whatever on every graphic that they show.
So
They don't even know the time that they're
whenever they
showing
decide
this.
to show it, they'll just show it.
It's airing live at 2:30 in the morning or 1:30 in the morning our time after the NBA All-Star game. That's when it's airing live. But it's technically a 21-hour tape delay because it's being recorded earlier in the day. So it's not even live. It's airing at 1 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's going to be watching. And it's just a complete mess from the very jump. They should have just canceled the show and just moved on. But no, they are having a show, and it's going to be watched by tens of people. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. That was disrespectful.
Mind on for those who enjoy going on the torrent sites and looking for alternative versions of it. But right before they had All In at Wembley, they had like a 2 stadium show, or they had 2 shows in Wales or something, like right before it. And you could actually get the Collision that I guess they're going to show on Friday, or whatever it was. You could actually get that early because they aired it live everywhere else but the United States. So it was actually available, and I actually watched it because I needed to get caught up on it. And so they may do this. So this may be out there on Friday or Saturday to be downloaded if you're into those kinds of things that from the foreign feed. So just keep an eye on that, Kyle. And it'll be a good show. I'm excited about the show, even though they have botched everything. It's a complete everything you've said you hate about Tony Khan right now is encapsulated in this mistake. Because they should be able to go to Australia and get a 15,000.
Yeah, you should. I mean, and that's a territory that they don't hit. That's a new territory. And usually that's why when you said they got a pay-per-view in Philadelphia, they'll sell that out. Will they? I'm not so sure. It depends on what they try to sell out. If it's a 10,000 seat arena, maybe they'll sell it out. But if they try to go 25, 30,000, I'm not so sure. I'm not
maybe
sure.
that means that All In, Kyle, that the Off the Ropes crew can get some close seats for that show.
But hey, if Cena's right down the road that same night, I mean, what are we choosing? You know,
yeah,
Cena's gonna be at the AAC that night.
Is that where? Wait,
they haven't announced the Saturday Night Main Event.
Is that the AAC on the 12th?
They haven't announced. They announced the date and the time. They haven't announced the location yet. But the dirt sheets say it's going to be in Dallas, so we'll see.
I'm going to Saturday Night's Main Event overall.
Can we afford it? Can we afford it though?
No, well that's true. I can afford an all-in ticket probably more than I can afford Saturday Night's Main Event.
That'll be the key. Hey, I hope that Ospreay for the title and he wins the title that night, and then we can.
Also, I want to give a shout out to TNA, man. So Diggs, you said you didn't even know TNA Genesis was going on. Well, I knew about it, and I knew Joe Hendry and Nick Nimitz. So I didn't even think. But then that Thursday they announced that partnership with NXT, and they started showing NXT on the graphic. I was like, hey, let me fill out their little credential form and try to get. I filled that thing out at 2:15. By 2:30, I had an email saying you got 2 free tickets at Will Call.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
I was like, that's customer service right there.
Yeah.
I was like, their media relations people were on top of it. So I was like, some of these people you don't hear from you fill something out and you might not hear from them from a month, and whether they're accepting or declining. And this was, 15 minutes later they said, and it was, I went up to Will Call, gave it, and that bam, and a heck of a show too. It was a fun show, but
I would have probably tried too, but I knew I was going the next night, Brandon.
Yeah,
I didn't figure I could get away with 2 nights of wrestling in a row. In Dallas.
And I did want to say something. I did want to say something about someone on that show. We kind of talked about it in our group chat stuff. Tessa Blanchard in the ring, but if she wasn't so controversial, we'd be talking about her trying to win the Rumble this year. She, as just a women's wrestler, she's maybe the best, one of the top 3 in the world, but she's very controversial. And even that night we got some "you're a racist" chants. So that was. But just her and Jordan Grace, they tore the house down. That was that may be the women's match of the year. And it happened January 19th or something. It's gonna be that we got a whole year, but there may not be a women's match that competes with that because that was fun. So,
man, what's going to be a good weekend of wrestling? We'll have to keep an eye on those the Saturday night main event tickets. Maybe they'll be affordable.
And maybe TK will put he'll probably do his Moxley his Death Riders payoff on the same time as Rumble, so nobody will see it.
Oh, well, yeah. Hey, maybe they'll do the
Well,
payoff
Shane's gonna be there.
At All In. Maybe we'll have maybe WWE buys out Tony Khan AEW. They're both in the same city that night. We get a simulcast of Shane McMahon. He's on one program. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
On that note.
Oh man, it's been fun. Guys, besides the Rumble, I'm looking forward to the Owens and Cody Rhodes match. So I think it's going to be, if they've really done a good job of the storyline, I'm looking forward to it. There's obviously all 4 matches are going to be great, but I'm really looking forward to the payout on this one to see where they go with it and see where I'm sure they're going to keep this some kind of something going here. I'm not sure where it's going with. Is it Sammy? Is it Randy? Is it someone we don't know? But I'm really looking forward to that match. That's usually the Rumbles are the ones I'm primarily looking forward to, but I don't know. I am looking forward to them, but I think that match may be a show stealer. I really do. I think that the ladder match, they don't do the ladder matches a whole lot with the 2 belts and stuff. I'm interested to see, will the winner carry both belts around, and are they just going to phase out the wing title? I don't know. It's interesting.
I know most ladder matches these days are like multiple wrestlers. Back in the day it was 1-on-1, but we don't get the 1-on-1 ladder matches much no more. So,
yeah. Well, since a couple of you guys picked the Tribal Chief, we'll exit out on his music as he's the off the ropes projected winner.
I love you, Solo.
For the Big Goose, KO Kyle Owens, the Professor Matt Diggs, Dirt Sheet Brandon, Mr. Nettis, and Brett Swinney signing off for this week's edition of Off the Ropes. Hopefully you enjoy the Rumble this weekend, and we'll hopefully be back next week to wrap up the Rumble and talk about everything that went on. Have a great rest of your night and a great weekend. And everybody.